Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Smite update show. I am Titan Dandy, honored to be here with y'all today, and honored to be joined by two incredible faces I'm sure you'll recognize, Aggro and Lermy. What's up? How y'all doing?
Super
stoked
good.
that she's finally here.
We've been waiting for Mom on for a while now, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Also excited to be here in this season of celebration, though. You know, the last
they're going
update
to BS
was such
about
a crazy
Conquest
big
for the
update.
first
To be able
freaking
to
2
take,
hours.
I say a little bit of a breather, not a lot of a breather, because you know we're always working on stuff like for now, for later, and for later plus Extreme Edition. But you know, to be able to go into this slightly smaller update, to really focus on refining some of the changes made, it's just it feels good to see it out, see people respond to it, and be able to put a little more love into it now that it's out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of one of the biggest selling points of this like seasonal structure that we've gone into is that we had a really huge, humongous game-changing update, and now we're going to get a chance to refine it a little bit more as people still get used to all the new strategies.
They might post the patches after the update.
I mean, there's still a lot to get used to.
After the update stream,
so super excited, happy that it's out now, and happy to get into some community news too. So, as all of you know, SWC has been high on our minds as we continue to get closer and closer. We've started to see these SPL matches as we work towards the road to Worlds, which I could not be more hyped for. But I have some not SPL related SWC news. We have a cosplay contest. That's right. You've seen us do it before. We love doing it. We love seeing y'all's creativity. But this year it's just a little different. So the annual cosplay show will be returning at the World
that guy that played the Baron that
Saturday,
cosplay last year
13th,
caught
so
so much hell
SWC.
by the
But
trolls,
this year we're
dude.
celebrating cosplay.
They're trying to hit him up because he was using blackface and stupid stuff like that, dude. He looked like the Baron. You know what I'm saying?
Participants. This means
always trying
that
to
if you show
bring
up
their
at
politics
SWC
into
in
this crap.
cosplay, which you have to follow the rules and guidelines, those will be available to you. You'll have the chance to walk the red carpet and even appear on the main stage runway as well. So show up in your cosplay and flex in front of everybody there a little bit. Show off your
it's very
your
sad to
creativity
see.
and your skill. So to make sure you do this, you can team up with a friend or do it on your own, completely optional if you want to do that group thing or if you like to fly solo. But make sure to share a picture or video of your cosplay using the hashtag Smite cosplay. So hashtag Smite cosplay. You'll see it below, and it'll be.
I should dress up as my Reaper and just be a Reaper.
Sometime before November 27th. So you got a lot of time because that starts today. So anytime between now and November 27th, make sure to use that hashtag to, as part of the submission. Any qualifying cosplays submitted with a tweet using that hashtag, again, hashtag Smite Cosplay, will be featured on the Smite World Championship live broadcast on that Saturday, January 14th.
Thanos has more
live
armor, though. My Reaper costume is pretty much just
There's
a
a blog
cloak.
out for this, so
It
make sure
doesn't
you
have
check
the
that out.
armor.
That'll give you all of the information you need.
If I had time to
get
plan,
excited
I
for it.
could
Start
get
working on
armor.
those cosplays because you have until November to use that hashtag
Don't
and
forget
become
to
a
submit.
participant. And if you feel like bringing it with you, walking the stage. Super exciting. Now for some esports stuff. We did the non-esports. Let's get into the esports stuff. For working towards Worlds.
Maybe
So a lot of stuff happening really soon. Actually, Road to Worlds Week 1 kicks off this weekend. So Friday through Sunday this weekend.
I'd have to
That's
give
the
me like
22nd
a
to 24th. Make sure you're checking
like
out
one of those little paddle boats and get a big old paddle.
Game or wherever you get your beautiful Smite content to catch the shows because we're gonna have some crazy matches as we start working towards figuring out who is going to compete to win the World Championship this year. Aside that, we also have the Challenger Circuit starting Friday, September 29th. With European and North American circuit. So these are best of threes. There are also going to be some incredible matches. Make sure to get in on that.
Hopefully this brings more numbers to
I've been
Smite.
talking a lot. I'm so sorry. The Community Esports Showcase kicks off Monday, September 25th. So you can check out
a lot of times when they're showing like these esports things on Twitch and stuff, it attracts new players.
Talent they have.
You'd be surprised how many people don't even know Smite's still alive,
based, from some of these other organizations. So
some
those
people
are
don't even know
Mondays
Smite
and
even
Tuesdays
exists.
starting the 25th. You can keep an eye
If
out
it wasn't
more
for
information
content
on
creators,
that,
dude, Smite would have been dead a long time ago.
So much stuff coming up, so many things in the works, and we're super excited to share it with you and
You
really
need
kick
the
off
dog
this road to Worlds. It's in January,
For
but
Libya?
it's gonna feel like tomorrow by the time we get there. Like time will fly. So, I'm gonna breathe for a second, and we're gonna move
German
into some
Shepherd?
skins. So we have more Odyssey skins. That's kind of hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. And we're excited to share them. Starting with Bionic Bruiser Tier.
This one's really
Bionic Bruiser
I'm a tier
Tier.
fanboy, so I'm always excited for a new tier skin.
Looks like something from
I did not get to one-shot
Cyberpunk.
people with my full damage tier build.
Shake my hand.
Unfortunately.
That's
I don't
fair.
know. You know, maybe we just need to buff his damage through the roof in order to let me. Do that. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. This is not the balance segment. Okay, hold on.
Look
We
at
gotta
the
talk
leather,
about this
though.
skin,
They're-
which
they're
is just amazing. I mean, look at the little
artistic,
guy in his arm. You know, this part of Tier's lore. is that he
skills
has
are
only
getting
one hand,
really
but
good, man.
Now he's got a.
The leather
little
actually looks
guy
like
on
leather.
there.
It's
Yeah.
really nice.
This
Nice.
would get along, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Friends. So now, my one question before we move on to the next skin is: do you think that this one is like top tier or like
Yeah,
It's-
they're all top tier.
Yes.
okay.
Harrison.
Yes. All tier skins are.
Thank you
in
for
that
biting
tier.
into that. I appreciate it. So now that we're through that
Sign you
painful
up for that
moment,
giveaway.
let's look at the next one, the spectacular Changa.
Oh, I love this.
Oh, that's
theme.
a
I think it's so
Chang'ao.
fun.
The magicians.
Yep. Yeah. Soul had the magician skin, and now
Let's see,
Changa getting it as well. Fit.
And what a
he already
perfect
has
one.
the bunny. Yeah, exactly. Like
I was about to say, like, little known fact, that rabbit did come
No-
out of the hat
no
earlier. You don't
emails from
see
Hi-Res.
it, but that's where she got the rabbit. So.
and that's not the only animal that she has at her disposal, apparently. 'cause
That's
there's a
true.
bird.
And she can create like turn on origami birds into real birds. Just
I gotta
a
take
lot
my
of
dog
power
to the
with this
vet
one.
tomorrow.
So, ooh,
Oh.
get the turn around.
Dude, the bunny has a hat and a vest. Oh my god.
He's got a
Wow,
little
that's
dapper.
pretty.
My question is,
That's pretty
does
detailed.
The bunny have a hat in its hat? Is it?
Oh.
Are there just a lot
How
of?
does that work? What comes out of the bunny's hat?
Dude, that's
a-
pretty
a
detailed.
magician.
Oh, a magician.
Yeah, you just. get
That would be a
magician out
trick.
of it. Yeah,
That
that
would
would
be a
be a
trick.
really impressive trick.
All right. Well, this is a really cool skin, and again, I love this theme, so I figured it'd be fun to hop in game for this one and
Hop?
check it out.
Get it?
Oh,
I get it, like a magician, because they.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, these basic attacks are awesome.
Yeah, you gotta love the like magical.
Oh, the little stars, the bunny footprint.
Yep.
That's so great.
Bro, he's adorable. I love that little.
Ooh,
oh, the cards.
Actually looks pretty
oh my
cool.
god. Okay, I'm sold.
Yep.
I'm
Actually
sold.
looks
I'm all
pretty
in.
cool.
Instantly the best chunk.
That card,
just-
that looks pretty
just
cool.
10 out of 10.
Oh, okay. That's like,
Like a little
subtle
stage.
little
Stage
detail.
floor, yeah.
Okay.
That's so nice.
That's really cool.
I agree.
That's really, really awesome.
I think that is a
oh,
winner.
And now it's
I
the
like that.
stars. Yep.
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 Yeah,
That really is
He's
spectacular.
putting on a show. That's all there is to
Absolutely.
it.
absolutely loving it.
Oh.
Cool. Well,
That's
let's
nice.
move on. We have one more skin coming out with the Odyssey in this update, and that is Spirit Dancer Pele.
Oh, I love this theme so much.
Right?
Yeah, this skin is awesome.
Nice.
She has really unique weapons in this one too. She's
Dude,
got
I
these.
think I
like,
dated her in
chakras.
Germany.
Yeah, they're like bladed. Yeah, that's really, I guess, Charkamar probably. I don't know anything, but it looks beautiful either way, and I love the blue highlights. So, plus Pele's ability is always like every time you have a major
Ooh,
color shift, with
blue
abilities,
fire. Yes,
they
please.
always
Yep.
pop off.
Volcanic lightning, like. So.
Yeah, very on brand for you, huh?
Listen, it's just the coolest thing any character can do,
Yeah.
besides everything that Maman does. You know.
That's fair, but we'll get
True,
there.
true,
We're
true.
on the
You
way.
wish.
So
I don't
again,
know, man.
these are all
When
part of the Odyssey. You can
I was
pick
in
them up
Germany,
and
I
they'll be
surprised-
available,
I
and
surprised
in this case, they
myself.
will all be
Just my
right to
game.
you on Tuesday. So let's move on. So this is bonus update. I always like to make sure I drive that one home. This one won't be out on Tuesday. You'll have to wait a little while, but we like to show them off because it's more fun that way. We have the Halloween.
Oh, they're not gonna
chest
show
with
it?
the
That
bonus
sucks.
update.
Oh,
hell no!
I know,
Huckle
right?
Berry Mulan.
Oh, she is badass.
Yeah.
Her weapons
Whoa.
look so cool on this skin.
That's
And her
some
hair's on
serious
fire?
cyberpunk
Like, are you kidding?
action.
And that's not the only thing that's on fire. Like
True.
this poor sap down the bottom right.
What has she done, bro? Oh my
He's getting
God.
cooked.
What a Wednesday.
Might have to take a trip to
feel
Germany,
like-
dude. I love Germany,
yeah,
dude.
your average.
It's
I
only
love
Wednesday,
Germany.
Captain.
you what a week. Ooh, nice.
No,
oh my
it's
God, it actually
Mulan.
is on fire in game.
This is
That's
Mulan.
super awesome.
Oh, it looks so cool. Dude, I like this like street punk meets like
Yeah, it's like cyberpunk, man.
Hellfire. I mean, that's like kind of almost her name, right? So like
Yeah.
it works
Yeah.
out.
It works out. It's very close. So again, this will be part of the Halloween chest, which will launch with the bonus update. So keep an eye out for that. Huh?
Can I say it's so messed up that it's almost Halloween time
Yeah, no.
already?
I was
Yeah,
hoping you
dude.
would
criminal,
draw
right?
attention
Can't
to
believe
it.
What
this
year is
year
it?
it's almost Halloween
Who
again.
don't?
Who knows? I passed a house with like Halloween decorations up, and I was like, "Look at this chump!" And my wife
You
was
know,
like,
these
"No,
last
dummy,
few
it's
skins, I
almost
mean,
Halloween."
Yeah,
they
that's
look
like
pretty good to
God,
me.
around the
You know what I'm
corner.
saying? They're a
for
lot
what
better
year
than
is
some
it?
of those
2017, and
stupid
it's been that way
15
for, like,
arms and
15
eyes
Whoa, don't
everywhere.
say
You know what I'm
that.
saying? That they love to
Hey,
go
listen,
with.
I hit this point where I stopped tracking the years because it's too painful.
Yep.
Because, oh,
Yeah, they're gonna be all chest, man.
Anyway,
They should
so
give
let's-
us that in the battle pass, dude.
was that showing the turmoil in
Yeah,
it?
no, that was really good. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
glad that we've
I
hit
felt
that
that
point
pain.
already
Yeah.
on the update show. Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going. before
But
they
who
drive
knows,
me
man?
insane.
Maybe I might get
let's
us
get to some balance
some
now.
giveaway
So we had,
codes for
like
them.
we
You never
mentioned at
know.
the top of the show. We
It
had
could
a lot
happen.
of
I haven't
stuff
got
come out with
nothing
the
for
last
this season
update.
yet.
And now we've been looking at it. We've been getting that
I'm on
feedback, looking at what
360p.
players loved, what
Go
players
to your
didn't like
phone,
so much,
go
and we've
to
been
the
trying
hit the
to,
little
reel it
cogwheel,
in,
and where it says
starting with
resolution, you can set it.
mode
We
stuff.
should be at
I guess we'll
1440p,
just dive
60
into
frames a
some
second.
general changes, starting with some of the timers for several modes.
You have to
Yeah,
manually
so,
do it
like we
sometimes
said
because
in the
YouTube's
last
funny
update,
like that.
Normally when we add something very brand new, change a map mechanic, or in this case,
It'll be on auto.
recipes
On the
where you
bottom,
have
it'll
to make a
say
decision
like
early in the
resolutions
game,
or something.
right before you leave base.
No, it just changed
we
it.
wanna
Okay,
give those
good. Yeah.
players extra time in order to
Yeah, so for
figure
anybody
out,
watching
what
us,
does this
we
one
should
do,
be
what
at
does this one do? Okay, this is
1440.
what I wanna
It should
buy.
look
So
crystal
now we
clear,
can
baby.
safely revert
2K.
those now that
If
players have
not,
had a
look
couple
at your
weeks
settings,
of
man.
playing with recipes, understanding how, what gods they want to use certain recipes with, all that kind of stuff.
Unless you got like an
for
iPhone 2,
Conquest,
then
Joust, Assault, and
there ain't nothing I
Slash,
can do for you,
just
man.
lowering that timer at the beginning of the game once again so that the game starts a little bit faster, because hopefully you know exactly what page to go to when you're playing.
Yeah.
Hey, you laugh,
You know what
but
you
now
want
that
to
we're
do,
at 1440, I got to be
imagine
careful,
you
man,
shut
because
up
I can
so
see
quick.
every little
So cool. So next
bit,
up,
every
having
little
mentioned
pimple,
Slash,
every
it looks like
little
there's actually
little
quite a
piece
few
of lint.
Slash
Oh, yeah.
changes coming through this time.
I'm gonna have to
So
go through
I'm
the
just
lint
gonna let y'all
rollers.
dive in. What's going on in Slash?
Yeah,
on
so
my
Slash is
shipsies.
one of our premier non-conquest game modes, right? And we love to have a little 5v5 action going, of course. And so one of the things that we have been noticing in Slash is that sometimes they go on for a really long time.
They can.
And so a lot
Yeah.
of the changes that we've made this update are there to help
can
remedy
see.
that in one way or another.
Okay.
So the first
It
thing
looks
that
like
we've
a bu-
done is
it looks like
increase
put
the
on
gold
glasses,
and XP
right? If
spooling
you're
up
blind,
by
you
one
put on
each.
glasses,
So what
it's
that
like,
does is
ding.
just get you to your levels faster, get you to your items faster, and so in theory that'll just get you to that late game place faster.
Yeah.
So if you are dying or sieging or doing whatever you do in the late game,
Smite's-
you're going to be doing that
Smite's
even
dead,
more
I'm sure it
powerfully.
is. It was
at that
dead
point.
this morning, dude.
But
It was taking forever to get
that's
in.
not the only thing we've adjusted towards the late game. We've got Apophis as well,
Snake.
who is the big boss boy of the map.
I mean,
so
the actual
we've changed
website
his
was dead
respawn
this
time
morning
between times that
because we're
you're
trying to
killing
get into
him
the high
from
res
4
one.
minutes to 3 minutes. So taking that
could
down
get
just
in.
means that you will be seeing him a little bit more often.
War Wolves
and he'll be
couldn't get
enhanced
in.
even faster
Neither
as
could
well.
Cyrus.
Because the first time you kill him, he then becomes enhanced afterward.
They're probably
So
updating
that's
it
always
as well.
nice. He also is getting a general stat shift downward, whereas health, protection,
They always wait to the last
and
minute
power
to do their
are going
updates,
down
dude.
across the board. So he's
Had
just
to ask them
easier
for
to kill,
2
so
days
easier
just
one
for
team to be
the
getting that
date
buff.
and
So we're
time of this
hoping that
update, and they
more
never
people try
got
to
with
take
me.
him down. More people attempt to get that buff for themselves, because we're also making the buff better.
Maybe they
on top of
decided
that.
it was
Yeah.
the
So,
best way to keep people
both the
watching
Apophis and Shadow
since they're
Apophis
not
buffs
giving
are getting a
us access
10%
to the notes.
increased structure
Possible,
damage from what they were
possible,
before. So they were
possible.
25.
Yeah.
Now they're 35%. So you're going to be able to siege a lot better at this point with the Apophis buff. So hopefully with all these changes combined, sieging's a little bit easier for you guys in the late game. But that's not all, folks.
That's
We got
not
another
all.
thing.
Hey, keep
And that's
going.
Mist.
Yeah, if the
The
chat
mist has been
upstairs,
creeping in
the
slowly from
sideways
the edges
chat
of the
starts
map. And so
overlapping,
as,
let me know,
You'll probably
and I'll
see when you
refresh
give it
it.
a try in a
But it looks like
couple
it's working
days.
pretty good right now.
Yeah, this is
It creeps in.
Yeah.
that's a dev
There are now 3 new mist spaces for you to go and explore around the edges of the map, and so that's really fun when you're trying to contest the servants of Apophis on the sides or the enhanced buffs that spawn
Yeah.
on other sides. So being a little sneaky around those edges is always a fun time, and especially when you're doing a bit of trolling,
17,930
as
points,
I
that's not
definitely
bad.
have not
Did
seen.
you look at me when you said that?
Listen.
targeted.
You
That's
may wait. Were you the one that played tier? Or was that, I can't
Yeah.
remember who that was. Yes,
Yeah,
you
that was
played
talked
tier,
about.
and you
Slash
sat
is
in the
finally
mist.
getting
and
love.
you
Dude,
waited
I've
for
only
someone
played
to-
Slash
no, that's
one
what you
time.
can
And then
do.
I led with
Maybe
Lawbringer.
you can
One
do that.
time I
Yeah.
played Slash.
It was fun. It was really fun. I was like, this mist is awesome.
And I
Let's
can
screw
tell
around
you,
again.
Yeah, so that is
while it's not
just
my
some
cup
new
of
features
tea,
coming to
I'd
Slash. We hope
rather
that you
play
guys will
Slash
enjoy it.
than
We hope to see those
Conquest.
game times go down just a little bit.
Slash was a
True.
little less
I'm looking
boring.
forward to it. I love me around a Slash anyway, so I like getting stronger faster because then you just fight. You have to
Yeah.
fight the whole time. That's what I'm all about. So to round off the game mode section, we have a few conquest changes to talk about as well. It looks like to specifically one of the totems.
Yeah, so we've seen players start to interact more with the
Yeah,
conquest
that's what
buff
they're there for.
totems,
They're
and
not there to
we're really
the
excited about
bankroll.
how
You're not going to
many
get money
players
out of
are
them.
excited
They're there
about
to
that
be used
mechanic,
when you
just
think the
as we
time's
are.
right.
We're noticing that Crimson Spirit in
Although
particular,
I got
that's
some
the
ideas for the
light steel red
future.
one,
You
is just a
guys
little
might
bit
be
undertuned. So we're
using
just
it to
buffing that up
gamble
from 7%
with various
to
different little
10%.
games I might be adding. I'm still trying to
we've heard a
figure it
lot
out.
of discussion about
But
the yellow
those viewer
version as
points
well,
are
and
gonna be
seeing,
more
is
than
that
just
pen
memes and
worth it,
stuff.
but
At least I'm trying
penetration
to.
being such a valuable stat, we have to be particularly careful about that one. Make sure that players are really saying we really don't find a big
PTS probably
use
won't go
for it.
live until Friday.
But otherwise, we feel like these conquest totem buffs are in a really good position.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
If
excited to see
PTS
players
goes live on
use it.
Friday, I'll have
agree.
a
It's
build
fun to
video
watch,
or
I love
and
that
a
added layers
breakdown
gameplay,
video on her
getting
like I
to
normally
choose, what
do
do I
by
need right
Saturday
now?
or Sunday.
So
We'll
and
see.
they're just fun to look at. So I would buy.
We'll see how difficult she is.
All right, so now we're diving into item balance. We have a handful of items here to go through, starting with some of the delicious food that came to the battleground recently.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's get into it. Sturdy Stew being right on top.
Yeah, so the first thing that I do want to mention is that in the 10.9 updates bonus balance, we did mention that we were going to be buffing the underutilized
Usually they do it on
recipes
Fridays,
instead of
but if they do it after
nerfing
this,
the
then you're lucky, you know what I'm
overutilized
saying?
ones, because we want these to still
Before
be
they
very
used to
fun,
only do it on
powerful
Fridays.
effects,
That's why they used
and
to
we haven't
move
felt like
the
one
stream
has really
to back and forth to
in
Friday.
a way that is destructive to the game. We felt like everything is still really cool, really fun.
Yep.
So we just want to make everyone else kind of at that point as well.
I mean, they could go live today. Who knows?
The first one that we're going to be talking about is Sturdy Stew, which has to do with
okay, so they buffed the tank stew.
So, Sturdy Stew, when you get CC'd, you grant protections in an area around you.
Okay,
that protection value is getting doubled now from 5 to 10.
Ooh. Yeah.
So even more defensive when you get CC'd.
And you get a per level scaling component on this as well, I believe. This is just the base number is going from 5 to 10. So, you know, in the early game in particular, 5 prots actually does make a pretty big difference. If it's you and your hunter, you're seeing a 10 buff prot, you know, because you're doubling it.
Yeah.
We think Sturdy Stew will
that's cool.
Maybe not be as
good. If they do that to the
applicable as
stream,
something
that
like
allows
WoW,
me to
but
look
when
at
it's
her
strong, we think
later
it'll be
on
very strong.
today or tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, hey, you know,
that way
I've
I'd be able to
been
get a
through
video
lot of
out by
these
this
and hear you
weekend. So
say,
I hope
we
they
doubled
do
the
open
base
up
stat. Like, that
PTS
doesn't
today.
happen all
That'd
the
be
time,
awesome.
So that's definitely a crazy change. So I guess let's move into Party Punch next.
So that thing about doubling stats.
Party
Okay.
Oh, this is stuff for Conquest. We can't even use this crap in Arena.
For some of these. So Party Punch, previously this was building up a proc and then dealing 15% of your power as scaling as bonus damage. But that was 15% physical and 15% magical power scaling. Typically, that leads to
too bad we can't use that power
and magicals being a little
power
bit weaker
punch in
because
Arena,
the power
right?
numbers are so different based on the items that they get.
Very much.
And
It's a
this
private
was
test
just
server.
doing less damage than
Werewolves. I don't know. Does
wanted it to
console
do
have a
in order to
PTS,
compete with things
or
like
is it just
Berries and
for
Bow. So we have
PCs?
split the scaling.
I don't know if the PC and the console one goes active at the same time.
Character buying physical power items, and 20% if you're a magical character building magical power items.
Okay,
it was
Paul
closer to what we
cracks me up.
wanted at the 15% number for the magical power characters because they just get more numbers there.
Yeah.
And physicals needed a pretty significant boost. So by separating it, we were able to hone in a little bit better on what each class can end up using.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense to me. All right, so the last of the foods getting changed, Durable Drumstick.
Yeah, so this one, you may have heard it before, we're doubling the effect of Durable Drumstick. So this one grants you damage reduction after you've been out of combat. It used to be 20%, now it's 40% on any basic attack or ability that you get hit by.
Yeah, I hate all the Conquest stuff
that's
too.
almost getting half.
Almost half, I was thinking.
I do too.
So, pretty impactful.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Again,
Well,
narrow.
you gotta remember, man,
but
us
powerful
Arena
is,
players,
we
we're
think, a
freaking
pretty
the
good
redhead
spot for some of
stepchildren
these
of
recipes, you know,
the
like
Smite
WoW
world.
are gonna be
Even though
much more widely
every new
applicable.
player goes into
Durable
Arena before they
Drumstick,
do anything else
maybe
in the
not
game.
for
So
you every game,
whatever.
but when you're getting Scylla crushed in the late game for a bunch of your HP, maybe you realize that Durable Drumstick would have helped you out and taken away some of that poke.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Thana goes to land an ult to engage a fight. At least the ult damage is getting negated a little. So.
Yep.
Cool, cool. So now we're out of the kitchen and into the battleground, or into the armory, I guess I should say. Moving on to Breastplate of Valor, which looks like it's getting a little bit of a buff.
Yeah, Breastplate, you know, it's got its glyphs, and it's always been an item that's
increase the
been
MP5 from 10 to 20. Who
you know,
cares,
it
dude?
hasn't necessarily had a super
Who the hell
passive,
even
at
uses
least
that
without the
item
glyphs.
in Arena?
It's just
Nobody.
about its stats, and its stats were just falling
That's a
behind a little bit in
freaking,
its pickup rate.
that's
So we're
a
decreasing the gold, making it a little
Conquest
bit cheaper,
item, dude.
and increasing that MP5 as well, just to make it a little bit more attractive to the solo laners.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
But you
picking
know
it
what?
up. Maybe
I'm
a
not
lot of
hating
the
on them
times
because
the
as long as they don't
characters
touch
that
our
are rushing
items, we're
Breastplate
good.
Are Guardians with fairly low lane clear.
Some
who might
Guardians
not
use
be
that in
getting
Arena?
to secure
I've
their
never
blue
seen
buffs
any
quite as
Guardians
often,
use that in
which
Arena.
means that extra MP5 will actually end up being more valuable to them than
Yeah.
it would be on some other characters.
Yeah, I mean, it slaps sustain on any item and automatically.
But hey,
I'm
some
more
people,
drawn to
you
it
know,
anyway. So,
they build different.
Cool. So moving down, Breastplate of Determination and Vigilance, kind of following that line, I guess.
Yeah, exact same line. Increasing the MP5, their gold cost is obviously the same. They lose a little bit of gold
the upgrade,
overall because you're getting it from the base. But for Determination, we are increasing the protections per stack from 5
Is
to
this the
7.
one where
You
it
get
does
5
damage
of those
against
stacks,
like
so it's
towers
a
or something?
impactful buff there for Determination. And then for Vigilance, increasing that basic attack damage reduction from 15% to 25%. Determination
Basic
a little bit
attack
more
damage
widely
reduction.
applicable.
Yeah.
Vigilance didn't really fill that niche of when I need to get something like this, especially now that Witch Dagger is kind of back in its glyph form there for Relic
Witch
Dagger.
Dagger? The hell's a
need a
witch
little bit
dagger?
more help to be a solid option
Yeah, I'm
against
gonna have to
those
look at
auto
some of
attack
these
stats.
items. I don't know what the hell these guys are talking
well,
about.
good to see them both getting buffed up. So next up, we're moving into the hammers a little bit, starting with Rune Forged.
Yeah, so Rune Forged is another item for our
CDR
solo
and
lane
physical
companions
protection?
here
Oh, that's
who like
good.
to have a lot of CC. That's kind of the difference between
Oh, they're moving
Breastplate
it
and
back.
Rune Forged. Is
They're
that's the more
moving it back.
offensive option that you're going to be seeing on a lot of warriors, like your
Decrease the
Wukongs,
damage
your
taking
Tiers, any
debuff
kind of
on
character that
enemies
really
from
plays around their
10% to
CC a lot, your
15%.
Shivas.
Increase
This
physical
item is
power
going to be
from
getting
25
5
to
more
30.
physical power.
Nice.
So it's going to be really, really good for those guys that just keep you in one spot for a long time, juggling you around. And then it's also going to be increasing the debuff for the damage taken on enemies from 10% to 15%, so taking 5% extra damage as well. So you better be watching out for those combos and juking your fearlesses or whatever it may be.
Almost nasty a little bit.
It's a Witchblade? Damn, I
and
didn't even know
it looks like
Witchblade had a
the breastplate
glyph. I'm
route,
going to
we
look
also
at
have
that.
Flame
Oh,
Forged Hammer and
Witchblade.
Breaking Hammer seeing some of it as well.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
thinking
so
of
for Flame Forge specifically, it's going to get an extra bit
not
of burn
Witchblade.
damage
I was
as well,
thinking
both
of
in
the
base
freaking
and the
Wing Blade. That's what I was
scaling.
thinking of.
5 in the base and 1% in the scaling, and then as well for Rune Breaking, you're also
Increase
going
the
to be getting that
physical power.
increased damage taken and dealt debuff on enemies
Yeah, I never
by
even
5%. So
looked
remember
at
for
any
Rune
of those
Breaking,
items.
that is also going to be for their damage dealt as well. So
They
that
look
is,
like they might be
that's
pretty
a
good,
really,
though.
that's a, what, 30% swing? That's really,
buy
really
it.
good.
Yeah, buy it. Go win.
You heard it
Super
here.
solid.
You heard it here. You know, when the devs are saying, listen, buy the item, like,
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
those look interesting. I might have to take a look at those for some.
If they're picking it up, you'll know, like, okay, wait a
builds.
minute, they tested this out. Cool. So next up, the bow, Atalanta's bow to be precise.
Yeah, Hunters,
I hope they're
their
buffing it.
itemization is always a little bit in flux.
Decrease
it feels
the cost,
like
increase
settled
physical
upon,
power
and
from
everyone goes
30 to
it, and then
35.
one little change happens. And
Not
the whole thing kinda goes up
earth-breaking,
in
but
the air.
something's better than
Right
nothing.
now, we just have seen Atalanta as being one of the least popular pickups in the game, and
Yeah, 'cause
decided
it
it needed a little
sucks.
bit of love. So just a little bit cheaper and a little bit more physical power. This is a strong early game option.
Yeah, they're
now for
starting to
Hunters, I
slowly
think,
add power
especially
back
at
into
that
the game.
low
But the
price point
problem
of
is they're
2300.
adding power
And
back
some
into
pretty
the
good early
game
game stats as
to
well. So
the
hopefully
classes that
some
don't
Hunter
need
players
the
will start to
power,
figure
right?
out if there's a
Hunters
spot
are
for
already
this in their
strong.
build as
Warriors
a second
and
item.
Guardians are already strong.
Maybe even a
Mages are
first
the
item
ones that
in some
got kicked
instances,
in the
but probably more
balls with the
second,
running start. You know what I'm
in
saying?
a lot of cases,
So,
and hopefully
I mean, it is what it
starts to see
is.
a little bit more play.
Yeah.
Awesome. Always a fan of the bow. Well, next up, if anybody's ever told you to get a grip, now might be a good time because demonic grip looks like it's getting a little bit of a buff as well.
So this is a very important item for us to highlight here because we have been keeping a very close eye on the SPL. We understand that they're a bit of Freya's, a bit of Olrans.
That's a pretty
having
good
their time in the
buff.
sun over in
Increase
the
by
SPL.
10.
But what we
10
did
is
was we
actually
looked at a
pretty
lot
good.
of stats at various skill
That's-
levels.
that-
And one
you're
thing that
gonna
we were noticing
see a
is
little
that
bit of a
demonic grip
change.
was not getting purchased, and when it was in one of these builds, it was losing a significant amount more than a build without it. We're like, okay, something's going on with this item in particular. I mean, what's happening here? So what we decided to do is
10
just
is
take a
actually
small
pretty
adjustment
good.
on this item to hopefully put it at least in contention with the other rings. This is not trying to, make
I think the other rings aren't they like
really
75?
Let's get this guy back in line that is statistically, making builds worse.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say because this item feels like it's already
Isn't the
good, but,
demonic grip the
we're
one that
trying to
gives
just
passive
put it in
damage
line.
too?
Yeah.
In line with other rings.
At least back to the baseline.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Yep. Cool. Well, to round out the items, we have one more, and that is Fabless Tubes, also getting a little polish.
Yeah, so some players who were around when Fabless Tubes were first introduced might be panicking a little bit.
Oh, wow.
At this
Increased
buff, but
shield
a lot has changed for
health
healers
gain from
since Fabless
3%
was at
to
the peak of the meta.
5%?
Now it
That is
wanting
a
to take that
huge
max health shield from 3%
buff
to
right
5%.
there. That's almost
Characters
100%
have lost
buff.
HP and needed to get it more
Holy
from their
crap.
items, and those items are not providing as much HP as they used to.
Yeah.
Anti-shield items.
Anti-shield item is also a big part of it. Anti-heal items being much better. Definitely an item that we're going to keep our eye on, but another one of those, like Lermy was saying with Demonic, where sometimes the number, you don't want to have players who are buying items and lowering their chances of winning.
Yeah.
Fabless was one that we saw as a pretty significant outlier.
Cool. Well, good to know. And cool, too, how, we're looking at info, looking at how to balance the games, or y'all are. I bring in stuff from the community, but it's cool how many different areas you can look. You can look at the numbers. You can look at what people are talking about.
But here's the
You can look
question:
at,
are
it's
they
just
buffing
always
and
breakfast
nerfing
to
this
see how
because
many
of the new
areas you
guy?
look to figure out how to make these changes.
I don't know.
So that'll do it for the items. Still got some gods to talk about, but
Very
if you missed
interesting.
anything or you want to go back and read it, make sure to check out the update notes. Should be live right now. If they're not, then they will be soon. I only say that because I work on the blogs, and the website's been really mean to me recently. I feel like,
What the heck, website?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I got to make
believe
it
it or
up
not,
to
that
it.
was
I'm
me
gonna take it
earlier
out for a nice
today.
dinner this weekend, and if it doesn't work out, then we're going to have to throw hands, but we'll get there. So, but it should be live now. You can see all of that we're talking about, all of that we're about to talk about, including the gods, which we're getting into buff style right now. Starting with Achilles getting a little love, it looks like.
Yeah, so Achilles, got a pretty spicy buff not
max
too long
heals
ago,
per
where we raised
ability.
his execution threshold on the ultimate, and that was really exciting. Got a lot more people playing him.
True.
But
that'll do it.
Didn't address
That's not too bad. He's just going to get a little bit more heals
his lane
early game.
phase is a little bit difficult to navigate. He is a character that requires a good amount of basic knowledge on how his kit works and how the lane functions in order to get through that early game.
You can't press
but we also have to be very aware of his jungle potential at a high level.
Yeah,
whenever he gets
you won't be able
strong,
to feel that, dude.
Particularly when his one becomes too strong, because that's the one in solo lane. Typically, players max the 3.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to
max the 1.
feel anything.
So
with
these
that,
buffs
dude.
are definitely more solo lane focused. We're increasing the max heals per ability from Radiant Glory, just bringing up those first 2.
But I gotta give him props. So far, I haven't heard anything over the top craziness. So that's good. Cross our
we
fingers,
saw a huge
right?
amount of success with that. It felt a lot better. Still maintains that interest on when I'm putting my point in order to get the extra one, but makes it less punishing.
They better
if
not
you don't
touch
know
Nox.
That extra point is really, really valuable.
Yeah.
So now
better than
Achilles
nothing.
will have
Yeah,
a little bit
anything's
more
better than
sustain
nothing.
earlier in the lane, and then increasing the combat dodge damage just by 5 per hit. Again, this does hit twice, so 10 base damage on a warrior ability does. Could hit twice. Yeah, exactly.
It can.
These usually make a pretty big difference for them, and decreasing that mana cost on combat dodge. So
yeah, that's expensive. Oh my gosh.
it sure is, because it does spend twice. So just some solo lane, early lane focus buff for Achilles that aren't too heavy.
Increased
but will hopefully
damage.
make most players experience.
I missed it. Dadgummit.
Cool,
I wasn't
cool.
paying
Hey,
attention.
love to see it. Love to help the solo laners out. Moving down the list, Artio also getting a little bear hug, I guess.
Oh
yeah, so
no!
She,
Okay,
of course, is a
here we go.
notorious solo laner that is very good at spamming abilities.
Yeah.
So we want to keep that in mind. But one thing that we did notice here is that Energy Surge and Maul Prey, both of these
15.
bad boys, were on a fairly high cooldown, especially in the early game when you theoretically as a stage switcher kind of own the lane. She was not owning the lane; she was getting owned. And so what we did here is we decreased her cooldowns on that first ability.
Dude, she's already a pain in the butt as is, man. Come
when it was
on.
previously
In early
15
game.
to 13. So now you can really focus on leveling this if you want the more damage, or if you feel like you're not going to get interrupted, you can still level heavy charge and life tap for better lane clear. It's kind of up to you now, what your situation is, what your matchup is in that regard. But that's not the only change. We've also increased the damage on heavy charge, just the dash. Nothing to do with the holding stick root energy. I don't even know how to describe it other than that.
No, that's a whole
irritating. That's how I describe it. Very irritating.
So anyway, when she's a Baron, she's charging through the wave. It's going to be doing a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit
almost
more
impossible to
damage,
kill
just 10 at all
R2. I
ranks.
agree,
So
dude.
just a nice little
R2 is such a
help there
pain
with
in
the
the
lane clear a
butt,
little bit
dude.
more.
Rock and roll. All right, love to see it. Used to play Artio quite a bit. It's been a while, but due to go back. So Artio has stance switchers are just fun. It's like two skins in one. You're like, I'm a bear, I'm a lady. It's fun. Anyway, so next up, topic of conversation here, Baron.
Ooh.
Baron, we got Momon coming in. Baron's trying to shape up a little bit.
Are they finally going to give the Baron some buff?
Show off.
Yeah, can't look slack. So what's happening with Baron?
Yeah, so for Baron, we're just increasing the damage mitigation he gets during life of the party. Up
Holy
from 35%
crap!
to
That's
50%.
huge. That's 15%.
This helps Barons who want to build tanky support or full damage in mid or solo. Just making them a little bit more.
That's a good. That's a very good.
That ultimate and pulling everyone.
A very
into the
nice
party.
buff for him,
maybe
dude.
setting up for Maman out of the jungle.
Very nice.
Nice.
I
guess we'll get there later.
GG, peeps. GG.
The girl's looking at you. You can't this doesn't hurt at all, man. It's fine.
Yep.
So I completely understand. So next up, Cerberus, one of the goodest boys on the battleground. Also getting some love, 2 abilities, it looks like.
Yeah, so Cerberus has been a little bit absent nowadays. He had his time a little bit in solo, had his time a little bit in support for those who dared to bring him over there. But one of the biggest things that we have seen this piece of feedback on Cerberus is that the decrease to protections that we did previously as a Ghastly Breath has been kind of the nail in the coffin, you might say, for the poor doggo. So we are going to be re-increasing that protection shred from 5 to 13 is what it is currently, to 5 to 17. So not changing very much in the early game.
Baby,
but it is going to be pretty
any
significant
buff
towards the
to
late
serve
game,
as
especially
well. I'll
because it does
take
stack
it.
multiple
You know, I like
times.
big
We'll
serve,
be seeing
boy.
a lot more shred towards
Big
that late game, especially when
serve.
flat protections, aren't as scary
take
to be taking away at that point.
Right.
Additionally, Stygian
Yeah,
Torment, this
they
is the
nerfed them
ultimate,
all ago.
is getting a bit of a damage boost, a pretty significant one
Yeah,
towards the
big
late
serve,
game, not
dude.
so
I
much in
love
the early
serve.
game, but it's going to be feeling really
Increased
nice for your
damage.
late game
Oh, the
serves.
decreased
Kinda
damage on
throw
his
people
ult
around.
by 40
One of the
late
more
game.
enjoyable parts of the kit. That
20
ult is
early
just,
game,
like, you
dude.
hit a
That's
good. One, their
good.
beads are
That's
down, you
very,
caught 'em,
very
you're like,
good.
We're about to see some combos.
Mm-hmm.
So moving down the list, Charybdis, who we talked about a little earlier, being friends with the new tier skin, but getting some updates too to Raging Tides. And
Dude, I'm very happy to hear
I
it
think one of the
serves
coolest
getting
parts
love,
about
dude.
Charybdis, and one of the most unique parts of her kit is that basic attack chain where she
Love
gets
it.
the machine gun fire with the
Yeah.
third basic.
Decrease the item damage
But
reduction.
because that can stack item effects really
Decrease the
quickly, she
item
does
damage
always
reduction.
have a reduction on item
30%
effects
to
damage on her. It was previously 30%. We're going to be buffing that by changing it to 25%. So now chin size.
Okay,
things like
so
that, will
yeah,
deal
so if you're using
5%
size or
damage.
something,
When you end up multiplying that across all your
Yeah.
basic attacks in the late game, it ends up being pretty impactful.
Yeah.
And lets us lean into her more unique, fun identity of this basic attack character that can rapid fire
Yeah,
a little
exactly.
bit. And kind of lean into that a little bit.
So
And then
now
cap
she'll be
size, this is a
doing
great
75%
utility and
of the
wave
normal
clear tool
damage.
that just had a very, very long cooldown. So we're just reducing that cooldown
Yeah.
by 2 seconds in the early game. Still scales down to the same 12 seconds, but 16
2
seconds in the early game for a
2
non-movement
seconds.
ability.
I'm taking
It doesn't
2
even one-shot
seconds
the wave or
early
anything like
game
that.
from
It
16
has a
seconds to
fairly
14
significant channel
seconds.
time and a
You're
fire
gonna feel
time.
that.
Felt like she was
Because
getting overly
Cerberus
punished.
used to have 16-second
Got it. That makes
cooldowns,
sense. Hey,
dude,
I've always
and it
loved
was like
Charybdis, especially since
you
the
could
launch.
go make a
They're
sandwich,
really
come
fun
back, and
character,
his
even though,
attacks were still not on
somebody who can't
cooldown,
land
dude.
auto attacks to begin with.
So
and
you're
you
gonna
throw
feel
them
2
really
seconds
fast
is
and
gonna be
miss them really
is gonna
fast
be
feels
very
bad.
very
So,
awesome
excited
for her.
to see that love.
Yeah, I haven't played
And,
Charybdis
again,
in a
I will
long time.
reiterate real quick. Check out we're talking about a lot of cool changes. Make sure to check out the update notes to follow along so that if you miss something, it'll be right there for you. But next up, we have Kushalane also getting a little
I'll probably do an update.
It's been a minute.
I'll go through the
I feel
notes
like
because
it's
usually they
been
don't
to
cover
call it.
everything.
Yeah.
I'll probably do an
It's been
update
a
video
hot
for the
second,
notes.
So let's give him a little bit of love, Let's get that guy raging again back in the battlefield. So Barb Spear and Ground Slam. So this is going to be both his normal form and his rage form, getting a bit of increased base damage. He was just having a tough time.
Dude, that dude doesn't
really
need no
fighting
more
in
love.
lane,
Come
which
on,
is
dude.
strange because that was like his biggest
that's his
skill. When he
thing.
was
Right.
good, he was really good at doing that, and he just hasn't been able to do that at this point in time, so we're giving him a little bit of love there.
He
And
doesn't need no
also going to
love.
be happening a very similar change
He
on
don't need no
Sammy's Leap
love.
and Fury's Charge. That's the 3, the movement abilities in both forms.
Yeah.
A little bit of base damage as well across the board. So just a little bit more fighting potential for him, clear potential to be able to really keep up that early game identity that he has almost always had
Yep.
until recently.
I know forever. Cool. Next on the list is a goddess with scary claws and a scarier ult. We have
Oh, she's not
Daji.
scary. She's pretty.
Ooh, Daji.
Okay,
pretty
Cyrus.
Yeah, there you go. So
Cyrus,
but-
your
but
Daji's getting
also,
buffed.
Getting a little love here.
Yeah, so Daji, another one of those characters that we always have to be very careful when it
Yes,
comes to her
yes.
pro level viability.
Oh yeah, she's strong.
And when she is pro viable, it's almost
Increased
always centered around
damage
the ult
from
and the one
1,000
burst
cuts
damage.
from
Yes.
30.
Our pro players really utilize those two
Plus
more
35.
difficult to use skills very
Yeah.
well. So our buffs,
Wow.
she was desperately in need from every
Not only
metric
did
that
they
we
do
talked
base
about, you know,
damage,
people
but they
talking
added
about
another
her,
5% of your
community-wise,
basic
stats-wise,
or your physical
popularity, all that
damage
kind of stuff.
number
All the numbers
too.
pointed that she
That's
needed
a
a
big
for
buff,
sure.
dude. That's a
But
big
we have to
buff.
be careful around the 1 and the 4 specifically. So that's
Yeah.
why, pretty simple, just buff the 2 and the 3.
There
The
you
abilities
go.
that
That's
checks
easy.
out.
should be a little
That's
bit
a big
easier
buff,
to execute.
dude. That's
so a little
gonna-
bit more
that-
base
you're gonna
damage, and a
see
little bit more
that.
scaling on 1,000 cuts. Particularly for an assassin.
Because it's not just
having
the
a channel
base
for a long
damage, it's that
time, you need
percentage.
pretty good
5 more
payoff.
percentage
And
of
then
your
Trickster
physical
Spirit,
damage.
very long cooldown for a conditional movement ability. A strong conditional movement ability because
She's already smack skunk. Yeah, she's already powerful, dude.
That
I don't know why they buffed her. That makes no sense.
There. So,
Decrease the
hopefully
cooldown of
Daji
her
will
freaking
be a little more successful,
of her leap
popular,
too.
easy to play. For
50,
more players.
2
but
seconds early
also
game
be more rewarding
to
for those
15
players
across the
who,
board, dude.
have
That's a
mastered her.
big buff for her,
Love
dude.
to see
A
it.
big
Not a
buff.
character that I've played in a while, but every time I do, the ult is
Wow.
always a welcome joy.
Yep.
So Heimdall just got back from a trip around the 9 realms, kind of apparently hit a gym while he was out there, and is looking a little stronger, it looks like.
Yeah, we were talking about metrics before.
Heimdall, I always call him
poor
Himdall.
guy, he was like sitting at the bottom of all of them, to be honest with you.
Yep.
So we're gonna give him a little bit of love, and the first place
Decrease
is
the
the vision,
power
which is passive.
per stack
so you get
from
stacked to this by
2% to
having vision of
3%.
people, and because you're Heimdall, you get to keep that vision a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So each stack is going to be increasing your power by an additional 1% than it did before. So before it was 2%, now it's 3%.
You haven't
can see up
played
to
him
5
in
people.
so long. I
That's
call him
15%.
Himdall.
That's a
A lot
lot
of-
of
yeah.
power.
But I
That's
haven't
team
played him
firepower
in
right
so
there.
long that I
That's
don't
the
even
only
remember
thing.
his
We're
attacks.
also changing piercing sight
Golly.
cooldown from 14 seconds to 12 seconds. A lot of players that are not necessarily the most skilled with Heimdall don't use the 3 auto
Increase the
attack
cooldown.
cancel.
Ooh, wow,
mech,
2
mechanic
seconds.
that,
Wow.
is very popular among the higher level Heimdalls, and so usually
Dude, that is
piercing sight
huge,
is the
man.
thing
That
used
is
for clear
that's
for
a
those
big
guys.
buff
So
for
this
him
is a little
too.
bit less consistent than that, of
I
course. But
don't
we
hardly
want it to
see
be
him in
still a
arena,
very
to tell you the
viable option
truth.
for clear, especially for those who aren't skilled enough to be able to understand how to do that mechanic.
Yeah. Cool. I gotta love that. That's my skill zone. I'm not the incredible high level player,
It's
but
definitely a challenging mechanic.
It
It's so
is.
rewarding once you figure out how to do it.
That's true.
that is one of the fun
It
parts about
transforms his laning phase.
about setting into learning a god is like the experience will change completely from I'm gonna try you out to that's my 100th game or that's my diamond. So cool. Next up, the god that I relate to most often, Kumbhakarna, also getting a little stronger, waking up a little bit.
Yeah, so Kumbha, obviously very strong CC, but has some inherent kit tension, is what I'd say.
Kumbhakarna?
Throwback being his primary movement tool,
Decrease
as
the
well as wave
cooldown
clear
of
and
his
easy
throwback.
instant damage.
So his one.
That's a lot of things that it has to do that you want to hold
To
it for
11
movement, you gotta
across
hold it
the
for wave
board?
clear, but you also need damage.
Oh, nice.
Hell no.
Oh,
Once you scale it up,
nice.
but he needs this. He needs
Oh,
access to this
nice.
at all points.
Nice.
Really from level 1.
That's
So
good, dude.
Just changing that cooldown, not lowering it overall, because a lot of times this gets maxed first, but just giving players
Dude,
the
2
option
seconds
of maybe
is
I
a
don't
lot.
need to max throwback
That's
first
straight up
because
craziness.
I will have it on the same
Why
cooldown.
didn't it say this is
Maybe Groggy
craziness?
Strike or my
This
Mighty
is
Yarn
craziness!
for this game, so I
There
can
you
put
go.
points for that.
There for you.
And then just some more base damage for Groggy Strike. I mean, this is an ability that takes roughly a year and a half to go off, and it can afford to hit a little bit harder for that investment.
Yeah, if you give it the time and you don't get CC'd out of it or they don't bail before you get to slam
Increase
down,
the damage
here's your
from
reward.
90 to 100.
So cool. Next up, Lancelot, the horse boy.
What?
Again, some general changes and some piercing thrust, it looks like.
Dude,
Yeah,
Lancelot
so
did not
Lancelot
need
had
no
a bit of an
freaking
issue, you
buffs.
might say.
Bit of an issue.
Small one, just small one. Where
His
his base
MP5 changed
was
from
significantly
1.6.
lower than it was
That's a
intended to be.
huge
Shout out to
change
Remeber
for his MP5, but
good
in
call on
arena,
that
who
one.
cares?
So his
Shout
MP5
out.
is looking like it's getting increased by a lot, but it is going to where it was supposed to be at 4.6 instead of 1.6.
Kumbhakarna needed some
that looks like
love.
a very big change. Promise, it's just going back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're assassins.
Yeah, generally it's
I
still
guess.
in line with,
Escape-wise,
the majority of
yeah.
assassins, so
Right.
it's not anything
At least he
crazy. You
didn't
just,
do
have a
anything
little
with
bit of
his
mana regen
CC,
trouble,
so
and you're
yeah,
like,
for
oh,
sure.
that makes sense why that was happening.
Because he's a sitting
Yep.
duck, dude.
So,
Especially if you
next
have
thing we should
a
talk about
pug
is
team that
piercing
doesn't know
thrust,
how to
which is the
play
one.
with
And
a
so
freaking
this
tank.
ability is, you'd say your main clear in the jungle. You're not super using the horse all that much in the jungle to clear. This is like your bread and butter, you might say. And so it's going to be going down to 10 seconds, which is going to be helpful in a lot of situations, but mostly in that jungle clear and to keep juking around team fights,
Yeah.
being really sneaky and
It's,
slippery,
he's hard.
which is one of the best
I
parts
do
of
not
playing
like playing him in
Yep.
pug groups, dude.
Cool. Ever since Lancelot dropped,
Freaking
like,
pugs, man.
I use the horse all the time, pretty much. So, because I just think it's one of the most enjoyable.
It's so fun.
Just hop
for
up,
sure.
you get the gallop going. Then you hop up, somebody hits you, you get off the horse, you have to turn around and talk to them about it, because, why would you do that?
Why'd you hit my horse, man?
Yeah,
What's
that
up?
wasn't nice. So, next up, Surtur, Flames of Muspel.
Yeah, so Surtur obviously did pretty well whenever he was first released. He
Very
might have been okay.
Popped off.
at
Dude,
the
Surtur
very
does
least,
not
but
need
when he
any
was
more
really good,
buffing.
It was often just because Ember Walk, his 3,
Come on,
just
dude.
wave clear for free, really good, dive with the ultimate and
Yeah.
the CC from the 2. And this really fun stacking mechanic on his AO1 just never really contributed to that. He didn't feel like that scaling warrior where, I've let the Surtur get 150 stacks on his 1.
Yeah, this is
it's going to
trouble.
be a lot harder to win the game from here. So feel like we're not going to touch his early lane. We just want to up that kind of investment into that identity of this scaling warrior who gets to become this really powerful force.
Yeah,
come
his
late
ult is
game.
very hard to
now
escape,
when you
dude.
stack your 1, it's
He
gonna
zeroes
end up
you in,
hitting
dude. He's very hard to get
a
away
pretty
from.
decent amount harder.
Okay.
We're excited to see where this puts him.
Yeah, I love those are the type of mechanics I think I love the most in games like this. Is like I'm already in the laning phase. My objectives are get the levels, get the gold, win favorable team fights. But then having that little mini game to play, that let's see how high I can get the number.
You know what I noticed that
our
ticking chat works a lot
better
when we're watching a browser type thing than when we're actually in the game. The delay is a lot less.
So the Morrigan, kind of a revert, it says here a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit here for the Morrigan. So in the past, the Morrigan can be quite a deadly foe when it comes to
the Morrigan. Dude, the Morrigan hasn't been touched in forever.
But it turns out that overall she's doing pretty bad right now. So one thing that we're doing is we're looking back at the changes that we made to her previously, which kind of wiped her off the face of the battleground.
One of the biggest one-patch nerfs for a non-release character I've ever seen. Like
it was very big
crazy.
nerf. So first thing that we're going to be reverting here is Deadly Aspect. And again, this is partial, so we're not going all the way back. We're going a little bit back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so what this is going from
I can't even remember the last time I saw a Morrigan in arena.
And then Dark Omen is getting
been a
increased
good
initial
minute.
base damage, bonus minion base damage, and bonus god base damage, and that's like the explode afterward damage. By 5 at all ranks. And so basically that is happening twice. So again, you get the conversation where it looks like it's small, but it's actually more because you're getting hit a lot and bonus minion damage. It's just a lot of numbers, right? But it is contributing a lot to hopefully helping her clear a little bit better, fight a little bit better, be the sneaky little character that Morrigan can be.
I've played her a few times. I think I did a video on her a couple years ago or a year ago or something like that.
You and I and everybody usually. So we're getting into the last buff now before we touch Nerfville, and that's Vamana.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Vamana, another one of those characters that dominated for a little bit earlier this year, had to do a long series of nerfs in order to get him out of the meta.
No.
Now he's in a spot
he did
where
not
he's
need nothing.
Could certainly use some buffs. We're obviously staying a country mile away from Colossal Fury, as that was kind of the dominance that he experienced. Instead, just giving him some solid cooldown buffs in order to help him clear in that solo lane. So a cooldown buff on the 2, that's the
nice.
Losing 2 seconds at the beginning of the game. This is important in particular in solo lane because you typically want to max Umbrella Rang, the 3, having that 2 on a lower cooldown before you need to start putting points in it will feel a lot better.
And always keep in mind, dude, all the changes they do this is because of Conquest. We just get the ripple effects.
5 damage.
So sometimes it works in our favor, but most of the times it doesn't.
Warriors usually ends up impacting them a decent
most of the time it doesn't.
True. Well, cool. Good to see it. And yeah, it makes sense with the Colossal Fury. Using that ability makes him a big problem. So now we're going to get into God nerfs as quickly as possible and talk about Amaterasu. So nerf on Ama, huh?
We've seen Ama rise up the ranks, especially with the introduction of gooseberries. That's definitely been a helpful factor for her in lane. On top of the buff that she already got last patch. So what we're doing is we are happy with her gooseberries.
That's not a buff, that's a nerf. So it's a decreased
just
attack speed buff from
completely taking it back. She's still
okay, that's not bad.
But it's going to be going down.
Oh yeah, 10% actually is
from where it
a
was
lot.
before. So still 15% laning phase should still feel pretty solid for Ama.
Standard,
but the late game, upper end of it, is going from 35 to 25, so pretty significant decrease once you get that ability maxed.
Got it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I wish they would nerf her frickin' ult.
Our magical assassin friend.
Yeah, was previously the only one. Now no longer.
No longer.
We're gonna beat him down while we're at it. No, Alquang still sporting one of the highest ranked ban rates, which is something that we usually use pretty heavily in order to indicate what do our players think is strong. They're going to ban the characters they find strong or frustrating to play against. Alquang is a little bit of a combination of both, but we think that he is deserving
his
of
Kings
some
of Eastern
nerf.
Seas.
This is the largest nerf in the world, but having an execute inherently strong.
So pretty much his ult, they're increasing by 10 seconds.
Them there. And so
which is good.
Hopefully
really good.
Should be executing. And usually the team fights that he ends up winning his team the game with start with an early execute or end with an execute that heals him and then gets him out of the fight. Now we'll have access to that a little bit less.
Got it. Makes sense. That execute is one of the execute.
I played a couple of those today actually.
You get
against
like
this
that.
is the pause. You have to wait. He stabs you and you're like,
watch yourself as you're about to die.
Yep.
Kepri? Hey, Kepri. But all right, cool. So next up, the spooky spider, Arachne, seeing a little,
little bit of a tone
We just talked about ban rates. And she's
Teresa
got either
I knew this one was coming, dude.
It's definitely definitely up there.
We saw this today. There was an Arachne that was thrashing because, dude, you get wrapped so freaking quick.
Spicy changes to her, and so we're going to be taking her attack speed on Cocoon down. Of course, it did get a very solid duration change because before it was only 3 autos that you had the attack speed,
now
and
it's
now
2.
it's 4 seconds. So that is obviously a lot more time to be having that attack speed. So we're going to be taking it down.
And I love Arachne, dude. Don't get me wrong. She's like one of the assassins I don't mind playing, but she's OP as crap right now.
Attack speed for your bang for your.
So I knew they're going to end up nerfing her attack speed.
That was a huge buff. So to tone it down a little bit, kind of makes sense.
Yep.
So Chernobog is next on the list. Vicious Barrage, just a little too strong.
Pretty much the exact same thing. In that he gets a lot more tools to work with. Now the one slows right away.
I really don't see him played much in Arena either. I've seen him like every now and then, but not too many people play him.
You can say this for Ama, Arachne, Chernobog, and Raijin.
We'll get to him.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him.
There.
All of these gods that receive spicy changes at the beginning of Season of Celebration.
I mean, he's not bad if you learn how to play him.
The community is sensitive to.
There's just so many
buff a character really strongly, and
choices.
Then they don't want them to instantly get knocked back to where they were, or even below where they were pre-buff. So we are intentionally taking our time a little bit with some of these gods that receive bigger changes, because gods that receive big changes, it also sometimes takes time to learn how to play against them.
Yeah, I don't think his kid's the best either.
So all of those being a little bit lighter. We're going to be keeping a close eye on them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that approach, too, because you make something good.
Now, in Arena, I mean, in the Conquest, I bet you he's awesome, because he can go anywhere on the map with his ult. That's powerful as crap, dude. That would be very powerful. But Arena's like this big, dude.
So up next, the Waterman.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a double whammy on the poor Waterman here, because he got hit in bonus balance.
Yep.
He's getting hit again.
Yeah.
We noticed that his
Hebo is actually really strong, dude. I can't play him for crap. I've only played him a handful of times, but I played him against a million of them, and every time I play against one, dude, they do so much damage.
This time we're focusing on a different aspect of Hebo, which is his
I'm not a Hebo fan either.
Himself, for his team, slow immunity, all that great stuff. Just going to be on a 2-second longer cooldown. So even if you have Bow, I mean, it could go basically back to where it was before, but it will not be as impactful nearly as much as it was before.
Yep.
Got it. All right, 2 remaining on the nerf list. Kali, the next up, though.
Is another one of those high ban rate characters. In the top, she's been top 3 in ban rate for like the majority of the
see her every now and then. I see her more than some of the other guys they talk to.
For quite some time.
But not too many people play Kali
Incense
either.
is one of those abilities that's really
Arena,
powerful. That's the stun, the 3.
Although I do see her more frequent than a Chernobog or some of those other ones they're talking
power
about.
And was giving it for an eternity. Like self buffs typically do not last 8 seconds. That is a really long time. 6 seconds is still a long time, but more in line with other power attack speed stims.
I probably should have learned Hebo, because
this is something
when I
that we
play
think
against
is
them, they're usually very
sneakily
powerful.
Contributing to that
win
rate
people know how to play them anyway.
Because she doesn't have to invest a lot in power in her builds, because she was relying on getting so much power for so long with Incense. Now for a little bit less duration.
Cool. Love to see it. Yeah, Kali's definitely been one that I feel like in the more casual game modes I tend to play very often snuck up on me. Like I feel like I wasn't seeing her for the longest time, and then you cannot escape Kali. So it was, good to see that. A little less blades flying at me maybe.
Yep.
And we mentioned it was coming a little earlier, Raijin. So what's happening there?
Yeah, so Raijin, as we have talked about, was previously not very good at all. Arguably one of the worst.
Yeah, now I see this dude. I went from not seeing this guy ever to seeing him in like every other game now, dude.
He certainly does deserve a bit of a nerf, and like
he's freaking annoying.
We're going a bit easy on him because he has had basically no time in the past 2 years.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, that's not much of a nerf.
Space, give you guys a chance to learn how to play with and against him again, just because, he's still a very cool character to see and watch and play and all that fun stuff. So we're not trying to immediately take him out. But what we're doing here is we are decreasing the base damage on Raiju, which is the thing that we added.
Yep, the initial hit.
Yes, the initial hit. So when you actually use Raiju and hit something, it now does damage, but now it's going to be doing a little bit less damage than it was last patch.
Yeah, mostly early game is getting nerfed. Late game is pretty much looks the same.
Extra refresh from his passive
1 second cooldown.
It was just a lot at once, It was a lot of cooldown at the same time. So we are also increasing Raiju's cooldown by 1 second at all ranks.
Cool. Straightforward. Sounds good. I have loved seeing it. Like, what a fun. It's a super fun god to watch. Love the drums. Love the ult. So, well, cool.
I like the Kiss skin for him. It's really cool.
Ooh,
lot of good stuff to talk about there. And again, you know, we've mentioned it a couple times. There's a lot of places that we look at for how to make balanced decisions, but feedback is a huge one. We love, you know, one of our foremost focuses is fun. So y'all
don't tell me that crap, because what about the feedback about taking out the bonus round out of Arena, dude?
Smite's just gonna keep getting more fun. That's just how it works. So
everybody's been giving that feedback.
We have another event, a new event coming with this update on Tuesday, and it's the Festival of Spirits event. So right in line with Mama and Brigitte, and that's a lot of text you see there, but I'm going to try to summarize it real quick for you by saying that this is the Festival of Spirit event, which has 5 skins and a cosmetic bundle and a chest with which you can roll stuff. So, you know, look at what you want, direct purchase it, or roll that chest to try to earn your favorite skin right ahead. And unlocking all of the items will unlock an unlimited Martikaros skin, which I'm gonna spoiler a little bit, is absolutely horrifying, and you will see shortly. I hate it in the most loving way. So, you know, a cool event. Keep your eye out for that. But it also has they're called skull tokens. I forgot. I'm just excited. I'm thinking about Martikaros. It's got me scared. I got chills running down my spine.
Skullstone.
Yeesh. But yeah, the skull stones, which you can flip by completing quests. So if you want to complete some quests and earn some cool cosmetic items from the Spirit Festival, then make sure to do that. Make sure to knock out those quests. Go back to the page and choose a stone, flip it over.
I've heard that they are going to start off with a bonus round
and figure it
as
out.
well as the in round.
Excited to show these off because we got some, you know, it's the Spirit.
That would be
my
luck,
dude.
Dude.
Stuff coming, starting with Skeletal Slayer Achilles.
This is some badass card art.
It's Achilles?
Yeah, it really is.
I agree. He's angry.
Imagine being that dude who's just getting, like, screamed at point blank by a terrifying,
I want to see what it looks like. Hopefully they show us the model.
I don't know if mentally you're coming back.
Because, I mean, this art is cool and all, but I want to see the model.
Spiritually, any of it, you're coming back to it. The size of his hand is as big as this guy's head.
Yeah, and I like to point out the fact that you can see the curved spine. You can see that he's squatting. He's putting his whole back and body into that scream. Like,
and his jaw is unhinged.
Yeah, like that's why that dude looks like he's literally being eviscerated by the scream. Is because homeboy Achilles is mad.
Yep.
Skell Achilles is mad. So so the next skin, which I'm excited to dive into this one, is Tabby Toil Ganesha.
He's just a cute little cat.
He's a cute little cat.
This skin is so fun.
How the hell is that Ganesha?
There's a lot to love about this skin.
It looks kind of cool.
Super, I love the theme too. I love that we keep bringing
please show the
cats
skin,
in,
dude.
hopefully
they show this one at least.
Yeah, this feels like a cat version
this one looks
of all of the
crazy.
gecko skins that we see a lot of.
Oh.
So I'm just a big fan of it.
This guy's a troublemaker.
That's true.
You can just tell.
There we go.
This guy is a big old troll up there.
Big old troll.
That's definitely interesting.
That's the guy.
That's the one.
He's griefing.
That's an interesting one, dude.
1,000%.
This is grief? I don't even know if that's possible.
Oh,
yeah, I thought it was Baba Yaga too. I ain't gonna lie.
Look, you grief the enemy, but it's I mean,
it's
the whole
interesting.
Thing. It's very
he's a
interesting.
little troublemaker. You can just tell.
I feel like in most games I play too, they like never have any kills. So like, what's that about? You know, absolutely grief behavior.
What are they doing?
So
look at the how shiny the metal is, and how when it moves, the shine goes. They've done a real good job, dude.
You know, he's just doing his thing and not caring.
He reminds me of the Tin Man on Wizard of Oz. That's what it looks like.
He's got his little cauldron. He's hanging out.
And he's got a little owl friend too on the side there.
Yep.
Oh, that's so adorable. This is like a nice mix between like he's like some kind of like mischievous spellcaster type. Then he's made this mech and now he's gonna come beat you up with it.
Yep. He's finally getting his revenge.
I love cauldron base. Ooh, yeah, waiting for this.
Oh.
It's the tech and magic like combination is a really cool intersection.
Yeah, anything
I mean,
that's like
it's
technological but is made out of like
it's a decent skin.
Components or
I wouldn't.
components.
I'm not spending money on it, but if I got it for free, I'd use it.
I'm always a big fan of like pink color, the pink-purple color scheme.
Yep.
So some of the best colors in gaming, I think. But all right, so let's move on to the next skin in line, Synth Weaver Nox.
Oh, this one's
Nox
so
is
cool.
Please,
really awesome.
please don't have no AOE freaking bubble, man. Make it a flat AOE. Make it a flat AOE. Come on.
Thing, but this color palette ends up being a little bit brighter.
Make it a flat AOE and make it where you can see her one.
That come with these too.
Yep.
Yeah, the like streamers that are
Come
usually
on.
her hair are now.
Fingers
like,
crossed. Fingers
so
crossed.
cool. It's a cool look.
It is a cool look and a lot of imagination. I love the way that our
Show
teams
that
just let their
freaking
imagination
AOE and it
explode
better
when
not
they
be
make stuff
bubbled
like
up,
this.
dude.
So next up, Robo.
Oh, come on. You guys suck.
Okay, this guy's so cute.
This
Look at
is
that.
This is Red Tasker.
This is a little guy.
And got the RGB though.
Yep.
Like,
Gotta have it.
Gamer rat.
1000%. Yeah, there's
that
a
sucks, dude. I want to see that Nox.
And a Thoth skin that I think have
I'll
this
see
kind of
on
like
PTS.
retro,
like
TV face thing. And Ratatosker is an incredible addition to that lineup.
What's he gonna do with that pigeon?
Well, it's got an RGB neck, so he's just
he's smiling.
Admire it.
Don't take those eggs, brother. It's not for you.
True, not breakfast. I also like that the
Ratatasker is actually pretty strong too. I've played him a few times. I mean, I don't play him a lot, but he can be pretty annoying.
We're going down a rabbit hole here, I think.
Yeah, real trees are so lame. They don't even have RGB. All right, so here's one that I've been dreading looking at because I'm going to use it, don't get me wrong, but this skin is horrifying. We have Necromalus Martikaros.
What do you mean? He's adorable.
Skin.
Look at him.
Look at the fingers. That's so
interesting.
Yeah, he has a lot of
very interesting.
And fingernails.
Dude, what is it with the eyes? Why do they got to put eyes on his freaking arms?
It's so
whoever's the artist up there needs to be slapped, dude. Come on, get some type of freaking new palette.
Part of the skin yet.
No. This skin is like legitimately freaky. Like it is. We've pushed the boundaries a couple times. This one,
nice.
There he is.
Except for the stupid eyes on the arms, that actually looks like a decent, like a pretty decent skin, I guess.
I'll have to get back to y'all if that guy.
Dude, what is on his tail?
Well, I guess it's not a whole guy. It's a half a guy.
It's the top half of a guy.
Wait, what if that's the real Martikaros up there?
He's piloting a flesh Marty.
Dude,
Yeah.
one of the best parts of this skin, or I guess Martikaros.
Dude, I'm not even gonna tell you what that looks like.
Tail on the ground, so
I'm not even gonna say what that looks like.
That's really funny.
And the guy makes a sound. He goes, oh.
Because I mean, from a certain angle, that looks like a little guy with a big thing getting him from behind, dude. What the hell?
We started adding eyes to characters that just move all the time, and I need to find and talk to him.
Oh my lord!
Look at him.
Look
He's
at
so
him.
pretty.
Sure, if that's what you think.
Yeah,
Let's go in game for this monstrosity.
Ay, dude.
That's
really
so awful.
Oh yes.
No, that's great.
Dude, it looks like he's getting him from behind. Look at that.
The animation that the team did on the little guy in the back is amazing.
Yeah.
Genuinely, all of the expressiveness that this little guy does, especially in like the victory and defeat. I mean, it's just so fun.
It's like a bone.
Yeah. He just shoots a bone.
He's got something to spare.
That's an extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would they show us this crap and not the Nox one? Dude, that's so annoying.
Oh, that is so awful.
Okay, so look, this is another thing that I hate about Smite, dude. Why are they using red for friendly attacks? You should never use red on friendly attacks.
But like, it is so perfectly.
Because you got other people that don't play this guy, so they see red, they think bad, so they avoid it, right? And then it's on your side. Okay, it could have helped you. They should never use red for friendly fire, dude. This is a big no-no.
Those darn bonies.
That's a big no-no.
If you didn't notice, the tips of his wings are hands. Oh, he's got grippers up there.
He's got so many grippers.
So many grippers.
Oh,
he's got 4
man.
palms. He's got hands on his wings. He's got hands on his tail that have arms. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Body
I will
parts
not
were
be
not
getting this skin. I can tell you that right now. No, it's a fail.
Really
Instant fail, just for the red color.
So again,
instant fail.
I do love that though. Oh man, so this skin is incredible. This is a reward skin for the Spirit Festival event. I'm sorry, I told that it's just so much horror.
Ooh, thumbs down. Yeah, for sure.
Like the first time I played it, I was like, "Wow, this is really gross."
Yeah.
And the second time I played it, I was like, "This is even
Rip.
grosser than I remember." in a really fun, like, intense way. It's really awesome.
So anyway, there's that little monstrosity. Again, I want to see like 100 more skins in that line because I really love when you like. It triggers that emotion, you know, and it does it so well. Our team really sat down and was like, how can we inflict fear into the hearts of our players, even if they're playing the character?
Yep.
Usually the fear comes from me being dominated by an enemy, Marty. Now it won't matter. We'll get the lane. I'll be like, sorry, guys, I got to go. All right, deep breath. We're moving on. I'm super excited to get here, actually. I'm sure a lot of y'all are as well. It's Mom Brigitte time, and we're going to start off
We're at
with a video,
4 o'clock.
to show
We've been
off some
streaming
of the
for
cool
1
stuff
hour
we'll be
already.
seeing in detail in just a moment. So
It's not too bad.
All right, all right. I think it's just about time to get this party started. My mom is here now. Bartender, gone already? I hate party poopers. Excuse me, darling. You better move those feet now.
So it was like I said, almost like Scylla going into those pillars, but she goes into the enemy and can shoot out of the enemy. That's very interesting.
Now it's a party.
Very interesting.
Let's get back to the partying, shall we?
Love that video, love the energy Mammon brings, and so excited to get into this because there are, it's been a long-awaited character, you know? It's somebody that we've teased at before, and we've really wanted to add to the game for a long time, and we're finally able to do it. And like with every god added before, just an incredible addition. So much exciting tech and so much exciting work. So, ready to get into it. And we're here with the designer, Aggro, who has been hanging out with us the whole time, but you kind of, led the process. This is your baby. So get into what this process was like. How did we finally land on Mammon Brigitte?
Yeah, this has just been one of those characters that the community has been asking for a really long time.
Yeah.
And to get a chance to finally bring another voodoo goddess to the battleground.
They needed a new
voodoo goddess, a second voodoo god
or goddess.
Was just super exciting. And, Baron Samedi is one of my favorite characters in the game.
One of the best.
I think that he translates his personality and that over-the-top, type of aspect so well. And I was really, really excited when Mammon landed on my slot on the schedule. I was
you were like,
all right, let's see her in game, baby. Let's see her in game.
I'm not upset about that one for sure.
Super cool. Well, obviously, we're showing off a new goddess. We got to go in game for it. Lermy, are you ready to dive in?
Let's get going.
Let's get in there. So, as always, let's just see the kit, Like, we see the beauty that is Mammon Brigitte. The hair has blown me away since card art phase. The personality that y'all just saw in the video and all of the animations. This is just a long-awaited moment.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast working on Mammon. She's been awesome. I've got a million shout-outs to give, but I'll give those towards the end. Lermy, you can just unleash, if you will, on
blow us away. That is so cool.
The full combo.
The full combo. That looks practiced. It looks like you might have done that before to,
just a couple times.
Kill some people.
Yeah, just a couple times.
To own some playtests. All right, so, you've seen all the abilities. Let's kind of dive into it and start with the passive, I think, right?
Yeah, so she's a magical assassin. We haven't had a dedicated magical assassin since Season 1 in Ao Kuang's rework. So she is a mage, but she is
the biggest question
designed to jungle.
Can she crit?
Okay in the lane.
If her basics can't crit, she's going to be worthless. Guaranteed. She will be. Nobody's going to play her.
All that kind of great stuff.
After the first 2 or 3 weeks.
We wanted to go a little. That's already really unique.
If she can't crit with her basics, she's going to be almost worthless in arena.
We felt like there was a really cool design space for her to enter into, where her gameplay flow can flow a little bit differently than some other.
Unless her attacks cooldown like ridiculously low.
Her passive is called Soul Spikes, and this is a key component to how her whole ability.
Her cooldowns better be like super low, dude.
Ends up coming out.
Okay.
So anytime Mammon damages an enemy god with a basic attack or an ability, they gain a soul spike.
Ooh, that's
the very sick effects. They're little railway spikes type of art. And whenever an enemy reaches 5, they shoot into them. And they take damage that is based on their missing HP, and it is purely scaling damage. So there's no base damage value. It's for every 1% of their health they're missing, they take 1% scaling from Mammon. So if they're missing 50% of their health, the damage is 50% of her magical scaling. If they're missing 20%, it's 20% magical scaling.
Got it.
So as an assassin, her identity is finishing off targets as they get lower in health. That's what this is designed to do. And that caps when you're missing 70% of your HP.
Okay,
so
cool.
If you're missing 70%, you take 70%. If you're missing 90%, it's 70% scaling.
Got it.
You will be proccing this often on Mammon. There are a lot. She doesn't care about big damage numbers coming out of her kit. In fact, her base damage and scaling damage across all of her abilities are some of the lowest among any damage dealer in the entire game.
Really?
And it's because this passive is carrying such a bulk of the load of her damage output. So
I don't know, dude. I'm going to have to play her.
Used to playing with her or against her.
I'm going to have to play her.
But we think that this.
I'm gonna hold any comment until I can lease player in the PTS.
Really fun to use. So hopefully everyone likes it. And you'll see how you can proc this a little bit more often.
Thus far. Well, let's look at our kit first.
Whenever you proc it on an enemy god, you gain a soul orb. Whenever it goes in there.
Got it. Yeah.
Again, working on cooldown stuff, it can break some of the effects and all that, but it'll be represented by floating around her or on your passive meter there. And these soul orbs only interact with your ultimate, and we can cover what they do whenever we get
down to the ultimate. Got it. And let me just add, by the way, with those soul spikes, I love that the more of them you have, the more angry they look, you know, as you stack. Because the first one's like, hey, I'm here. 2, kind of the same. 3, a little more fiery. 4, they're itching to stab, and they're jittering and everything. Like, really cool effect.
And the sound, I don't know, it's hard for us to hear in the studio, and so, I don't remember if it ended up getting fixed for when they're on God mode. You can't really hear the sound super well, but my dad was an audio engineer for 30 years. I'm huge into making sure that the sound effects sound right. And Kellen, our audio lead, and Chad, who worked on her.
Oh, it's
so annoying about
exclamation
how the
CRKS.
was going to be.
That's what it is.
Feels so satisfying.
Really?
You just stack them one after another, and just that
right?
really sharp metallic sound, because you have to know that you're taking significant damage from that ability, from that passive.
Yeah.
But it's also a huge part of her gameplay loop. So they did an incredible job on that across the whole kit, of course, but particularly on the passive.
Gotta love the shout out. All right, well, cool. So let's dive into.
I'll change it where it's spelled out. It's probably better.
Party trick, ability 1.
Yeah. So party trick. Oh, sorry, we were supposed to do the basic attacks as well. I led you astray on that.
That's fine.
I'll have to check it out. Maybe I put it on there wrong.
She does have a unique basic attack chain in that she is the first character to have 0.5 pre-fire on the first 2 basic attacks. Arachne has 0.5 on her opening, but her chain is 0.5, 1, 1.5, I believe. Mamon's is 0.5, 0.5, 1 on her basic attack chain. And again, that's because it's leaning to the identity of, I don't care how.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just need to hit.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can see her kit here. Like I said.
So you can really quickly
just think about it, dude. As soon as she swings one time, she's getting CC. As soon as she gets stunned once, she's done, son.
Yeah, I guess with the passive, it'll be important to make sure you're really weaving in those auto attacks every chance that you get. Cool. 100%. All right. So now
Loki has Invis. Aquan has Invis. You know what I'm saying?
We're starting off with the
cat has a leap in.
Like with Maman, but that's her kind of vibe.
The other one has a leap in.
Party trick is a Pele 3 style ability where it uses this fuel. You can see in her bottle on the left there, the 100. It's a fuel-based ability. So that means you can start using it, and whenever you activate, you'll get a channel cone of fire, and then you can right-click to cancel it at any time.
Yeah. And
this is without any cheats on or anything like that. There is a lockout time, but no cooldown. Whenever you run out of fuel, and the fuel does not run. Whenever you run out of fuel, you will slam the bottle and stun enemies in the area, and then the ability goes on cooldown. And then whenever it comes off of cooldown, you will start at a 100.
Oh, great. More CC, because that's what we needed.
It's a fun little mechanic of use a little bit of fire. It doesn't function that much like something like Bacchus Burp. It is a lot more like a Kukulkan Tornado, where it's applying a fire dot to any enemies who are hit. So she cares about instances of damage.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Damage that she can apply, cancel, basic attack you a couple times while the fire's ticking, and then reapply it before it ends up running off and not miss any of that damage. The thing that interacts with the fuel mechanic that we found
that's
really
powerful,
fun
dude.
is that the cooldown
having a
is based
stun
on
like
how
that
much
is powerful.
fuel you had left. So you can choose to slam early because assassins need to have.
And you can control that freaking that CC. You can do it anytime you want. That's pretty powerful.
That wouldn't end up playing out that often. But if you press 1 again, or
but it looks like it's only a 1 second stun.
Whatever ability cap.
Or left click.
I'm gonna have to read it.
To slam early. But that will increase the cooldown.
Because a 1 second stun
how much fuel
with 40% CC reduction.
I mean,
the mages will get their butts handed to them, but tanks and stuff.
There's 8 seconds of additive linear time.
Looking at 60 milliseconds of CC.
If you have 50 fuel left, you take half of 8, so 4. You add that to the 6, so it's a 10-second cooldown.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed yet either.
All the way down to 0, and if you use your, you know you're going to
that dot could be powerful
set your fuel
though.
to 5 or 10 in the jungle.
But with the kit that she has right now, that right there is giving her probably about,
and then it can come back up and you can reactivate to instant slam.
430. Oh, right there on the side. 435 magic item power.
Get really good at fuel management.
And that 435 magic item power is only ticking for 64 a tick.
Burst of damage and CC as well.
Got it.
Now I don't know how much magic defense those those NPCs have.
Breath off, just getting those ticks off.
But
not a thing to do by any means.
Nope.
But once you refine your
unless it has initial damage and then
really
yeah, it might have initial damage and then tick. So that would be better. Yeah, that'll make more sense.
Really cool play come out of that.
Yep.
So excited for it. So next up, Madame Fang.
Like I said, I'm going to have to check out her kit.
Her snake tattoo that you see on the left arm there, it has a name. Her name is Madame Fangs.
Madame Fang.
And you will address her as such, of course. And by you, I mean everyone.
Yeah.
And whenever Maman activates, she sends out Madame Fangs, and it travels in a projectile line, and you can squish it a little bit.
Have like 75 to 80 magic defense. That's not a lot,
dude. Can't go any further into you or that maximum thing. Quick shout out before I forget to the modeling team.
Yeah, so with magic defense, that might not do that much damage.
I was really annoying and was like, can we make Madame Fangs disappear from her arm while the ability is on cooldown? And you'll notice that when you fire it, the tattoo does disappear and then slowly come back as the ability comes back off cooldown, which is such a cool little detail. I was super glad we were able to have. Let's talk about what
who in the hell is looking at a character's arm when you're playing and you're in combat. You know what I'm saying?
When they have Madame's mark, will take a small bit of damage. It's
Come on, dude.
5 plus 5% of her scaling every time you hit them. It's basically
come on. You can't even see it. Come on.
And whenever they have Madame's mark, if you basic attack them, they take the basic attack damage.
My condolences to the freaking programmer that had to deal with that good idea fairy, dude.
With your AO1 dot, party trick, dot them, cancel it, basic attack them, all while they have Madame's mark. You go from getting your passive every 5 hits to every 2.5 hits.
Yeah.
You know, it ends up being, this is how you stack your passive really, really on someone and end up getting a bunch of passive procs back to back to back, and where that sound really ends up feeling really, really rewarding.
Learn me chill, you're blowing my mind over here. I'm just watching nails appear and vanish in a heartbeat. I'm scared.
So another really fun component of this ability is that it can multi-hit.
Okay.
So
you can't see crap during a team fight. You can't see crap just from looking up, down.
Hit them twice with the initial projectile.
And who's going to be looking for it anyway? Who cares? What value does it bring to the game? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Twice, you really hit them 3 times.
Waste of money and time.
All that kind of fun stuff. And for the really accurate players,
but, it is what it is.
You can double hit on the corners where it turns. So you can get hit again.
Oh, now that's cool. So, it goes through multiple targets. That's very good.
Yep, you can end up getting a double hit if you put them on a corner, which feels really, really rewarding.
That's really cool. Again, I love.
Now the question is, if you use Soul Reaver, is it going to proc off each person it hits? If it does, that's going to be pretty strong.
To her optimal power, but very rewarding when she does. And I got to give a huge shout out to Alex or Chaos, the lead programmer on Smite. He spent a ton of time.
I can tell you right now, there's no way in hell you're building a full attack kit for her. You're going to need some type of defense. I'm telling you, as soon as you get stunned once, you're done.
Makes this ability.
And everybody and their mother is going to be going for you, dude.
Yeah, super free. And nothing wrong with a high skill ceiling. It gives players who are going to fall in love with this god so much room.
Spirit Robe might work well on her.
Express their skill. It'll be like, all right, I hit diamond, but like I'm still trying to master that
the mantle.
Hits.
Oh yeah.
Super cool. Moving on to the third ability.
Gone to Thebes, maybe. I'm going to test it out.
Yeah, this is one that everyone was, when we were talking about Maman, what she would do, and all that kind of stuff.
It's hunting season,
Possession
right?
is a huge part of her lore. Being able to possess
others. No.
Everyone's like, well, we got to have a possession ability. And it's such a dangerous and scary
dude, it's not even that far. Look at that.
Particular,
that's not going to get you out of crap.
you to lose control of your character if you're getting possessed. But you want that.
Oh, but you can go inside the enemy.
Get it off me, you know, like where'd she go? Where, you know, how did she do that? How do I get her off of me? And so Spirit Seize is basically knocks the elevator pitch is knocks dash, but into enemies. So you are fully immune inside of them. You can persist inside them for 2 seconds.
Now
during that time,
that is interesting.
They will take damage over time. Again, all of her kit centered around small, multiple hits.
Yeah.
If you have Madame's mark on them, they're getting twice every time you're in there. All that kind of good stuff.
Now that's interesting because that could allow you one, because you're immune while you're inside the enemy. That is huge, dude. That is gigantic. If you get freaking, you know, Aries pulled or something, you just jump into the enemy real quick and you're good.
To quickly immune a little bit of burst damage from them or an ultimate or something like that, and then pop out. And the fun part.
And then they don't know where you're popping out either, so you can pop out anyway.
It's getting yourself in those absurd situations where you can follow people in some crazy movement.
Now here's the question, right? Can you jump through walls?
Got it.
You have to be a little bit careful.
If you're allowed to jump through walls, that's going to be huge, dude. That would be very huge.
And then he's up in the air. You can't dash out anymore. You are at the mercy of where the Apollo is landing. And it has happened numerous times where someone has dashed into a Thor who was thinking about going in, but then decides, wait, I've got a Mama right here with me, and just dunks right back into the middle of his team, super far from the rest of her team. Instant death for her. So you have to be very careful, but this is a very, very
I cannot wait to see clips. I will be scouring.
That's what I would do, dude. If I was playing, if I was playing Xing Shang, Serb, or anybody that has a leap, if I'm by my base, if this fool jumps inside of me, I'm jumping into my base, dude. I'm gonna jump right into the middle of my base. How you like them apples?
I love. It's the mini game. It's how many passive procs can I get in this fight?
Yep.
And I also love the option to either like
dash
in.
I don't think you can go in teammates. I think it's only the
all right, you're chasing me. I'm gonna dash in and go through you the other side later.
Because it does damage when you go in.
So much room for playmaking. I cannot wait to hear esports like shoutcasting of he went right into the middle. So it's gonna be wild. So I've been
this is another thing.
Well,
no, because she can come out real quick too. I was gonna say you can always like knock skate in her way. She's trying to escape, just jump in her way. So she goes inside of you, and now she's screwed.
I know she floats a little bit, but she's fully hittable, fully damageable, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword.
She just gathers all of this energy that she's been accumulating. And throws it at the target location where it explodes, does a good amount of damage. That is her
probably not dashes don't go through
emblazoned
walls.
on the orb, as well as what gets burned into the ground, which was really great work from the effects team.
I'm gonna have to test
that in. Was super stoked about that. But it is damage. And
I don't think Nox can go through walls.
That
she
is the
can't
lowest knockup rate in the entire game before anyone panics. But it also applies Madame's mark. So, you know, in play testing, we found that this character really relied on getting Madame's mark on as many people as possible and keeping that uptime. And it doesn't stack with the Madame's mark from Madame Fangs herself. It would just refresh that duration.
Yeah, this is one of those you're definitely going to have to use very carefully.
Before it ends up feeling really strong. And
was that her ult?
Previewed there a little bit was that I mentioned the soul orbs that you get from proccing soul spikes on them.
Interesting. So her ult is like Nox's ult, except for it's a bigger ball and it just has a lot less range.
On the amount of soul orbs that you soul orbs will last for 30 seconds, and then whenever you fire your ultimate, you lose all of your soul orbs, but the size changes based on how many soul orbs you have. So there's the 0. This is the minimum with no soul orbs. The ultimate will be this size, and then it gets progressively bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The damage does not change based on the soul orbs. You have it will be a consistent damage no matter what. You don't need to know how many soul orbs she has ahead of time so that you know if this will kill me if I Aegis it or if I don't. The warning size changes to be appropriate depending on the amount of souls that she has.
Yeah, it's elite.
But just making it so that
goes underground.
You feel like you have options on, I just popped off. I was able to poke them out, get 3 soul orbs. Now my ultimate's going to be even bigger.
Yeah.
Or if you play really aggressively, dash in, put
granted, they don't have the best build in the world, but it's only doing 562 damage.
Right in the middle of the team.
That's not a lot of damage, dude.
It feels really, really rewarding.
It looks really, really rewarding and really, really cool.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to have to play her.
I'm a fan of the orb.
Yeah.
So.
Right now, I can tell you, like, just from what I've seen thus far, I think this is going to be one of those niche type gods that once the new car smell goes away in like 1 or 2 weeks, that very few people are going to be playing her.
And it's because
in arena anyway.
And looks
because I'm telling you, with the amount of CC that we have in arena, the fact that she doesn't have an invis, she doesn't have a long jump, she doesn't have a good escape. I think that she's going to get her butt handed to her
so open to
way too many times.
Finding ways to add a lot of the little pieces of
she
her
definitely
lore into
I
the
personally
kit,
like I said, I haven't played her yet, but I personally, what I'm seeing here, I don't think that she was designed for arena. She's more or less designed for conquest, where you don't have 5 people on you the game. You know what I'm saying? That can do chain CCs.
But still a nod to that in her overall model, which was something we really like to do.
Yeah, well, again, a grand slam from all the teams. I love. That's one of the cool things about this is sometimes we work with gods who are incredibly well defined. There you go. And it's super easy. There's 1,000 depictions. It's which one works for us. But some of them are a little less so.
I just question how viable she's going to be in
so
arena,
much
dude.
research on every aspect.
I think she's going to be very aggravating to try to learn.
Perceive them? How did they dress? What did they look like? Like everything. And it's miraculous to see come to life in this 3-dimensional format.
But then again, who knows, man? I could be wrong.
So. A big shout out to everybody.
And a couple points kind of along that line. The voice acting for Maman is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Her voice back turned out super well, and being Baron's
right now she has full cooldown reduction,
that
dude.
Voodoo Pantheon being so
right now she's working with full cooldown reduction.
I think that
and look at that, her escape is still not off cooldown. It just came off cooldown right now.
She also is known for having a particularly foul mouth. That's like one of the top 3 things. It's in every lore entry and every website and source that you can find. And so I believe we did set the
at 50% CR exactly
on her base,
because they have that little item that puts you to 50%.
And she also has a lot of little Easter egg voice lines where she might not curse in the default version, but every once in a while,
that was it the Sphinx bobble.
If the right thing happens,
let you go past 40% to 50% cooldown.
I think there's like 6 or 7 different places where
and even with that Sphinx,
that sucked. It's
that cooldown on that 3 is way too long, dude. Way too long.
Which just feels so appropriate for her character. And yeah, I mean It was a crazy cycle for her.
I mean, keep this in mind too. Not only does she have 50% cooldown reduction, but she also has ticks coming off with that Chronos pendant too.
While I was away, but
and
I could
it's
not
still
be more excited with how she turned out.
Pretty slow.
The whole team just did such a great job. A couple big shout outs.
I think it's going to be a struggle in arena too, dude.
Jeremy, this was his first god on the effects side. He absolutely killed it. These effects.
Don't get me wrong, she looks cool.
And really
she looks cool.
This was a complicated character.
But for arena,
come in.
I don't know, dude. We're going to have to wait and see, dude.
There. Big shout out to the entire.
But if I was a betting man, I definitely would not be putting a lot of money on her as being the next big thing in arena. You know what I'm saying? I think people will probably play her for a couple weeks and then she'll just disappear. She'll go away like a shell.
And she feels so good and really thankful.
The show's pretty powerful.
I already mentioned Isabel and Tech Art and how great of a job they did. Alex, Ryan, and Nate, who all worked on her on the programming side.
No, that show's probably a bad
comparison.
She actually gets played a lot.
Michaela
I see her almost every day.
Ro, on the QA side, who both did an incredible job.
I like how Kwong.
They had a lot of testing to do.
At least Kwong has us execute though.
I'm sorry, but
the fact that she doesn't have no invis, the fact that she doesn't have no leap, and the fact that her freaking dash is only like this much.
Like when Lermy and I are doing a god, it is
1v1ing. She will be very strong.
I think we
1-on-2
too much
maybe
for how good.
But as soon as she gets stunned one time, she's done, dude. She is done. Done. Unless you build her as a tank.
And like dedication in order to get it done, and the whole team who worked on Momon did such an incredible job, and I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah, well, we have some card arts that we're going to throw to here as we
and her kit doesn't do enough to
but as we show some
nerf
of these, I
the enemy
say, like,
or
CC
the enemy.
A lot of people here
that one CC she has is very
Our team is
minute.
crazy, you know, in a lot of ways, but primarily crazy about Smite. And you know, so when you make these crazy requests,
CCs back to back will
sure, well, you know, why not? It's like, okay, yeah, let's
even getting
stunned
once, she's done.
This seems cool. This seems fun. And the amount of work and effort that goes into making sure that everything they deliver reaches.
At least Arachne has her ult that she can use, right?
It's praiseworthy. So I love the shout outs, and I love our team, and I love this card art.
Yeah, the whole team killed it. I think Stu did a lot of work on these 2D card arts as well.
Yeah, this is the Ascended skin, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel and the UI team making awesome.
Well, something I did not hear is the fact she's not getting nothing in her shop. I thought she was going to get like a Baron's Brew, but it sounds like she did not get any Baron's Brew.
Yeah, they are awesome. Look at Madame Fang; she's popping out. She's having a good time too. Like it's the best.
Just throwing down for the party.
Yeah, it sounds like she didn't get any type of brew.
I love all of it, and I love the character. That's one of the reasons Baron is one of my favorite characters, and it's just that life they bring. Everything from animation to voice pack is just so full of energy, you know. It's absolutely incredible. And
yeah, the artwork is great. She looks really good, dude.
Absolutely incredible. That's
she looks very, very good.
Away by the work.
Oh yeah, and here she is having a dance with a random skeleton.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, dude. The artwork really on her is very nice.
Well. I saw a lot
of her kit
talk about it on the Reddit threads and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know, dude. I'm not feeling
particular voice lines between her and Baron. She does have some unique voice lines, particularly when she kills Baron.
Well, like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Got to keep your ear out for those.
Keep your ear out for that. How nice of the skeleton guy looks like to maybe be holding her knife in his forehead. So we do actually have one more skin. Momon is releasing with a skin.
That's right.
I love when this happens. So this is actually part of the
hopefully we get the
Festival
PTS
event.
today.
And we just didn't want to show it off there because you didn't want to get ahead of ourselves.
I'm starting to get hungry.
So to show that off now, we have Biting Countess Momon Brigitte.
Yeah,
Ooh,
such a cool,
that's nice.
Such a cool skin.
Vampire vibe.
That is nice.
Just immediately taking her overall aesthetic and like it's obviously connected.
Dude, they put some serious cleavage on her.
In the same vein, but clearly very different than her base version, which is awesome.
Vampire.
Yeah. That was totally
that looks
intentional by me, for sure.
Joke's on you. My blood has too many microplastics in it. I love the red
looks
vial
nice.
on the hip and those.
The crimson is just like so perfect.
Yep,
it is.
Yeah, that
very.
They did a really good job on the leather. I don't know what's that black crap on her hands, but
the rest of the outfit is. It's really awesome.
The outfit looks nice.
Being the red just looks so nice. It's a nice contrast. Since most of her normal effects are green.
Yeah.
We're on the total opposite way, going red.
Yep.
And, you know, I think what you
Are
just mentioned is my favorite thing about stuff like this. Is this means we immediately have a skin.
They crapped the bed on that. They should have just gave her gloves.
In a completely different light.
That blood on her hands looks stupid.
Like the spirit orb, the nails. You know, they all have this new color to them. And that's one of my favorite thing about.
It looks like she was playing in oil.
Seeing when we get to innovate on those abilities and.
They should just give her. If they would have gave her black gloves, I think it would have looked better.
Spirit Festival event.
Or like black gloves with no fingers, you know what I'm saying? Like fight gloves.
Cool.
I think it would look better.
We did it, you know. We finally, Momon is out. Y'all have all seen her, and we're ready to release her next Tuesday. That is like 6 days away. So
every time. It's crazy.
Cannot wait at all. So we went over a lot of stuff today. You know, this is small.
I don't know, dude.
Update,
I don't know.
Cosplay contest kicking off. Tons of esports on the way. Balance. A brand new goddess. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you're checking out the update notes if you happen to pop in halfway through the show or you missed something because you'll find.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna admit I am not that excited about this new god. I mean, I'm gonna try her out. Don't get me wrong, but
soon from now.
And Dev Insight tomorrow.
And
like I said, from an arena aspect, she could be like the best thing since sliced bread for Conquest or some of the other modes, but for arena, I think she's gonna be a very big learning curve to get her down, dude. This is gonna be a very big learning curve for her.
The Dev Insight show
and the bonus round is still staying. Yeah, thanks, UK Paul.
So awesome. I'm excited for it, and I think it's time that we wrap this up. So thank y'all all so much. We look forward to gaming with y'all and to hearing what you have to say about the update next week or after PTS.
Dude, when have you ever came into arena?
Thank you so much.
Teach it.
I wish y'all would come to arena. My Reapers will host that party, right? All right, man. Well, that's pretty much the new god coming in. So, like I said, they said nothing about PTS. Usually they say it. So I don't know if they just an afterthought or they're still working on it. But BTS will be live anywhere between today and Friday, somewhere in between. So we'll see. But yeah, dude, that's pretty much it. So like I said, I'm gonna have to test her out to really see if she's gonna be a viable character to play in Arena. But I'm tell you right now, from what I've seen, in my experience with Arena, I'm gonna have to say that she's gonna be a very tough character to play in Arena. At least against a Chain CC team, which is pretty much every other team that you're gonna play in Arena these days. So yeah, dude. But anyway, hey, that's it. Appreciate you guys coming out. If she does come out, I'm gonna end up probably doing an update notes video, because I'm sure that they just glossed over a few things and sometimes they miss them. So I'll probably put that out Friday, maybe. We'll see. And then if she does go live on the PTS between now and Friday, I'll definitely go on PTS, test various different builds, and then do a pretty much in-depth look on her, plus a build that I plan on starting with when she goes live on Tuesday. Now, keep in mind, Tuesdays when we normally stream. Tuesday, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning here on YouTube is when we stream, right? So in our stream, we're actually going to be able to test her live, right? And you ain't going to have to like fight over all these insta-lock people. We just take turns testing her out, in Arena. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, hey, man, appreciate everybody coming out. I'm Dark Garza, your OG on GC. We'll catch you guys next time.